So we just got a little teaser clip from the official SWTOR Twitter account, which clearly shows a figure holding the broken lightsaber of Darth Malgus. Given the music that is playing and the background scenery, we can be pretty sure he is on Dantooine. But why is Darth Malgus on Dantooine? To answer this, we must go back to the events of Game Update 5.10, Jedi Under Siege. Darth Malgus was reintroduced to the story during the events on Ossus as the new Emperor's Wrath. He is heavily augmented with cybernetics, and we are told he is being kept on a close leash by the Empress herself due to his previous coup attempts on Illeva. A war is brewing between the Empire and the Republic, and Malgus has been dispatched to oversee the Imperial war effort. This escalates in Game Update 6.0, Onslaught, in which both factions move in on Onderon and Mek-Sha, and eventually Objective Meridian, a shipyard on Corellia. The Empire wants to destroy the shipyard to hinder the Republic's effort of building a navy, while the Republic is trying to defend their naval efforts. During the final battle on Corellia, Darth Malgus gets severely damaged, has to be recovered, and is in need of repairs. While on the operating table, his doctor is notified that the explosive implant in Malgus's body, the leash that has been controlling him, has been removed by the medical droid due to it being damaged beyond repair. It is heavily implied that the implant has been damaged by Malgus himself, however, we are not entirely sure of this. Upon regaining consciousness, Malgus ignites his lightsaber and demands to commandeer both the medical droid and a ship. Whether the Doctor survives this encounter or not is unknown. It becomes clear that Malgus suffers from mental conditioning after waking up from a vivid nightmare depicting torture by his master, the Empress. The medical droid assures him that it has already removed all traces of the loyalty assurance protocol implant, but that it does not know how to edit the pathways of his mind. Malgus, however, knows of one such place that may help him break out of his mental conditioning. He sets a course for Dantooine. So who else has suffered under mental conditioning like Malgus? Revan. After Revan's defeat by Bastila Shan surrounding the events of Knights of the Old Republic, he was brought to the Dantooine Enclave, where the Council gave him a new personality via psychological manipulation. This conditioning made him believe he was just a simple man making his way through the galaxy. But we also know that he eventually regained his memories. It is most likely this knowledge Darth Malgus is seeking. However, unbeknown to him, an old adversary of Malgus is currently living in exile on Dantooine. Aryn Leneer Zeerid Korr, and what we may assume is now his adult daughter, Ara Yumes, are living in a little farmstead on Dantooine. But why are Aryn Leneer and Zeerid Korr so significant to Malgus? Aryn Leneer was the Padawan of Ven Salo. In the years leading up to the sacking of Coruscant, the events we see in the cinematic trailer deceived. Ven Salo is a Jedi Master who battles with Darth Malgus, but is ultimately defeated. Leneer is on Alderaan for peace treaty negotiations at the time of Salo's demise, when she feels the Master's death. Significantly, she swears to avenge her Master's death. Leneer then reconnects with an old friend, Zeerid Korr, a former member of Havoc Squad and now smuggler. They travel to Coruscant to break through the Sith blockade, and they even lose Zeerid's ship in the process. On Coruscant, Leneer locates her master's droid, T7, who later becomes a companion during the Jedi Knight storyline. T7 shows Leneer a recording of what happened to Master Salo, and she swears to hurt Malgus in the same way as he has hurt her. She captures Malgus's lover, a blue Twi'lek named Leneer Zeerid, who is also presented in the Deceive trailer. But Zeerid Korr convinces Leneer not to hurt her, a crucial decision that will eventually save her life. Leneer confronts Malgus. They battle, and she managed to wound him, but not fatally. Malgus gains the upper hand and overwhelms Leneer with Force lightning. However, he chooses not to kill her, since she had chosen not to hurt Leneer Zeerid. Malgus let them leave. They take a ship at Liston Spaceport, and he ordered the officers there to let them go. These events lead up to one of the most character-defining moments of Darth Malgus. In keeping his promise of allowing both Aryn Leneer and Zeerid Korr to leave, Malgus realized the source of his mistake. He cannot afford to have any weaknesses. His strong bond and love for Leneer Zeerid is a weakness he must sever. After taking a final moment to appreciate her, he kills her by driving his lightsaber through her heart. This is described in the book Deceived. Malgus watched the shuttle piloted by Aryn Leneer rise on its thrusters. He raised jawed on the comm. "A shuttle is lifting off from Liston," he said. "It is also clear to leave Coruscant space." "Yes, my lord," Jawed answered. Malgus could have broken his word to the Jedi, could have shot Aryn Leneer from the sky, but he would not. He kept his promises. But he realized more than ever that the Jedi were too dangerous for him to allow them to exist. They were to the Sith what Leneer was to him, an example of peace, of comfort, and therefore a temptation to weakness. Angral did not see it. The Emperor did not see it. But Malgus saw it, and he knew what he must do. He must destroy the Jedi utterly. He kneeled beside Leneer, cradled her head in his left arm. He studied her face, its symmetry, the line of her jaw, the deep-set eyes, the perfectly formed nose. He remembered the first time he had seen her, a cowed, beaten slave barely out of her teens. He'd killed her owner for his brutality, taken her into his house, trained her in combat. She had been his companion, his lover, his conscience ever since. Her eyes fluttered open, focused. She smiled. "Barad-dûn, you are my rescuer." "Yes," he said. "Where is the woman?" Leneer asked. "The Jedi?" "She is gone. She will never hurt you again." She leaned her head back into his arm, closed her eyes, and sighed contentedly. "I knew you loved me." "I do," he acknowledged. Her smile widened. He felt tears forming in his eyes, his weakness made manifest. She opened her eyes, saw the tears, reached up an arm to put a hand on his cheek. "What is wrong, my love?" "That I love you is what is wrong, Leneer." "Barad-dûn?" He steeled himself, stood, ignited his lightsaber, and drove it through her heart. Her eyes widened, never left his face, pierced him. Her mouth opened in a surprised gasp. She seemed as if she wanted to say something, but no sound emerged from her mouth. And then it was over. She was gone. He deactivated his blade. He could no longer afford a conscience or a weakness, not if he was to do what must be done. He could serve only one master. He stood over her body until his tears dried. He resolved that he'd never shed another. He'd had to destroy what he loved, and he knew he would have to do it again. First the Jedi, then. After escaping Malgus and the Empire, Leneer and Zeerid Korr reunite with Korr's daughter and decide to live a quiet life in exile on Dantooine. During the events of Onslaught, Leneer senses Malgus coming to Dantooine, and both she and Zeerid decides to prepare for his arrival. Now, after the events of Echoes of Oblivion, with the final defeat of the Emperor Valkorion and the freeing of Satil Shan from his trap, Shan has returned to Coruscant to establish a new Jedi temple. She is approached by Leneer and can sense immediately that he has a story to tell. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please consider giving it a thumbs up. It does help out the channel quite a lot. Finally, I would like to thank my patrons for their continued support. If you would like to become a patron for as little as $1 a month, then links and more details can be found in the description down below. Bye!